Welcome to another episode of Will It Work? I am Kevin. Today we're looking at the Neo Geo Pocket Color. We did look at the Neo Geo Pocket not that long ago. That was not released in the United States. It was a black and white system, very similar to this. It was released to compete against the Game Boy Advance, but before the Game Boy Advance had come out. So, like, you had Game Boy Color, right? And the Game Boy Color was very popular, hugely popular. And so the Neo Geo team, at that point felt like, hey, we could get a jump on this and release a handheld that's superior, right, to the Game Boy Color, and get it in the store shelves. But everybody knew the Game Boy Advance was coming. So this wasn't the type of thing where people were going to really jump on this and think, wow, this is going to be the next big thing. Most Americans weren't that familiar with Neo Geo. Yeah, they had some games in the arcade. There were, of course, the Neo Geo home system, which really wasn't a home system. I mean, you did get to play it on your home TV and pay like $200 for each cartridge. It was basically like a, kind of like how JAMA boards are today. It's kind of just like a very niche group of people that would have one. Eric had one, my friend, but other than that, most people just didn't have a Neo Geo. It was just too expensive. So it wasn't a well-known name, other than a few games, etc. But I think what SNK was trying to do is they were really trying to put together a system that would make a very good fighting game, right? Because the Game Boy Color, and the Game Boy were not very good at making fighting games. It didn't have the right kind of hardware in it to make. I mean, can you remember a great fighting game that you played on the Game Boy Color? I mean, no. I mean, not really. And the Game Boy Advance, it didn't really go there either, right? And part of the reason, I think, with the Game Boy, I think the Game Boy Advance was capable, but I think one of the reasons why it didn't really get there was because it didn't have a backlight for so long. And so, that was something where it didn't really work out. But SNK with the Neo Geo, they were trying to do it. It wasn't a success, but it did get released in the United States. So we give a little bit of credit for them. The one difference, though, is that in Japan, when you buy a game, it came in a nice, really, really nice plastic case with a little lock on it and everything that you would open up, and your game would be in there. And if you had a collection, they were really nice. And when they brought it over to the United States, they put them all in cardboard, which it makes sense because it ended up being a failure anyway. But, ultimately, yeah. So some games, I believe all of the black and white games work on the Neo Geo Pocket Color. I'm not sure if any Neo Geo Pocket Color games work on the Pocket. They might in a black and white mode, but probably not. In terms of like hardware differences, I'm not aware of any. In terms of performance, there's probably something because it's obviously generating color, but they were released fairly close together. So I'm not thinking that they were like technologically that different from one another. But let's take it out of the box here. This is one I bought when it came out in the United States. I think I bought this at like a KB Toy and Hobby or something. At the time, it just was where you could get it because not everybody was going to carry this because everybody kind of felt this was going to be a failure even before it launched, which is unfortunate because it's not a bad system. It's really not. It's got some good games on it, and they play really well. And it was like, I get it, the Game Boy Advance was going to have its lunch, but I always just kind of thought like there's, with handhelds, it's weird. It's like, can't there be like more than one system? Like there are with consoles. But handhelds, I don't know, Nintendo just always dominates. So, it's a little dirty. So I don't want to, I'm going to shut off the upper light. It's going to make things a little dimmer, but it's going to help with the glare, I think, to some extent. here. Let me back it off a little bit though and get it into focus. It's being a little cranky. Come on. Okay, there we go. So it's a fairly light system, right? We had Neo Geo Pocket Reversey in here, which is just like an Othello game, which was good to take on trips. And then I have Dark Arms. I don't have any fighting games for this one. I used to, but I don't know what happened to most of my Neo Geo Pocket Color games. I had a bunch of them, but whatever. Now, it does take a watch battery. Hope it's not dead. I haven't tested it. And it takes 2 AA's, so we'll pop a couple in here. And I will say it wasn't completely ignored either. I mean, it was in magazines, it was talked about, and it got fairly good reviews, other than the fact that, like everything else, it didn't have a backlit screen. And everybody was just like, you know, this is okay, but hey, Game Boy Advance is coming. And really, I mean, I've never really looked at the specs between them, but the Game Boy Advance didn't do anything that incredible. You know what I mean? Like we all remember it. Like, it was okay. Like, it was better than Game Boy Color, but it wasn't like, I don't know. It wasn't like the PlayStation of its generation or anything. Yeah, hold on. Need to put a game in. So let's put this Dark Arms in. I don't even remember what that is. It's just complaining about the battery being, the watch battery being dead. And as you can see, the backlight on this is not as bad as we've seen. Now, you're going to see a lot of reflection and glare, but it's not as bad as other ones we've seen. I'll try to get it's hard to get you guys light for this and to be able to get it into focus and to see what's on the screen. What a pain in my ass. There we go. Let's try that. And let's get that into focus and let's not screw around. Okay. Well, we definitely want it in English. And then we can set it for monochrome. It's okay. We don't care about the date and time. That's just complaining about the battery. Failure, memory failure imminent. Yeah. We don't care. We can change that out, whatever. The Contract of Darkness. The hunt begins. Dark Arms. Let's do story mode. Continue. Yeah, this is like some sort of like almost like a adventure of sorts, I think. I don't even remember what you're supposed to do, but was I sleeping? And there's like a ghost in my house. Yeah, I don't even know. It's not bothering me. How do I get out of here? Like a throne? What's this? They're not gonna attack me. Oh, I go down here maybe? Oh, what happened? There we go. Yeah, so anyway, that's one game. Yes, yes, yes. The battery is almost dead. Everyone. Imminent memory failure. Oh no! I'll lose my place on a game I haven't played in 20 years. I have no memory of. Hush. Yeah, we don't really need to play this, but let's take a look at it. See, it all has its little charm, though. You know, you got your other opponent player, your move, and you know, and then they go, and I mean, it's okay. It's all right. It's a nice little system. So anyway, you know, and then when they it does work, so it's obviously a keeper. Although I've got to change that battery out. I should remove it, but it's pretty rare that a one of those silver batteries leaks. And you know, like Nyko and stuff made cables and worm lights and things for it. You know, they had this thing, which is like the shock and rock. You'd slide this in, you'd get stereo. There was like a battery. It also gave you some vibration, which, you know, obviously wasn't supported. Just kind of came through with the sound, and you kind of turn it on and play it. You know, see. It's got a lot of static there. Oh yeah, there's little things in here. Horoscope, calendar, world time, alarm, setting you could set up on this. And so that gives you some stereo sound and whatnot, and a little bit of a battery of some sort with a grip. You know, and you can use its plug to play it too. So, yeah. Neo Geo Pocket Color. And it's well emulated, and there's a, you know how Magic the Gathering was like, you know, a very popular card game at the time. You know, they had made a game for this that's like a collectible card game kind of thing, but doesn't cost money or anything. You know, it's kind of like an RPG, and it's called Card Fighters Clash, and, and there were two different cartridges, if I recall, and they gave you different cards depending on which cartridge you had, and you would go around and you would play other players in the game, and as you won more cards, and you could build out your deck to be, you know, better. And I don't quite remember the mechanics, but I do remember it's really fun. And if you get an opportunity, because this is completely out there and emulated everywhere, and I'm sure you can get a copy of it, or you know, even now I think there's on the Hypercade or whatever it's called, there's a package for Neo Geo Pocket Color games. And I'm not sure if that game's on there. Probably is. But Card Fighters Clash, totally worth your time. It's a fun game. If you get an opportunity to play it, it's something you could probably beat in a weekend or whatever. And but it's you know, it's cute and it's fun, and it's a challenge. And of course, it has a lot of good fighting games on it too. You didn't get to see any here, but we're just here to check if the consoles work. So Neo Geo Pocket Color, it's a keeper. You know, pretty cool. Certainly no Game Boy Advance, but not a bad system overall. Thanks for watching.